this next video, we're going to talk about putting the baby into the seat. It's super important that you know how to get the baby properly into the seat, so we have a few tips we're going to cover. First thing I want to remind you is that 4 out of 5 car seats are used incorrectly, and motor vehicle crashes are the #1 cause of death for kids, so knowing how to use your seat correctly is super important. When you are getting ready to put the baby into the seat, couple things. You want to look on the side of the seat, and seats have weight limits on them. Most of them start at 5 pounds, but a lot of them start at 4 pounds. It's important that you read the labels on the side of the seat so you know at what weight the baby can start being placed into that seat. Seats also have an upper limit on them. It might be 20 pounds, 22, 30, 32, a variety of upper weight limits. And so those are important that you follow those guidelines as well. When you get ready to put the baby into the seat, the harness straps, when they're facing backwards, need to be at the level of the shoulders or below them. And the reason for that is this. When the child is in the car seat, we'll pretend like this is our baby, head in the body. Most crashes are frontal. So in a crash, the car seat and the baby are going to get thrown in this direction. Our goal is for the baby to be held down in that seat so they don't go sliding up in the car seat. And we'll show you that a little bit more once we get our baby into the seat and properly positioned. On the car seat, you're going to notice that there are a variety of harness heights. And again, when we place that baby into the seat, we want to have the shoulder straps so that they are at or below the level of the shoulders. In order to adjust the harness straps, every car seat is going to be different. And so it's important that you read your instruction manual for your car seat. Most of them adjust through different slots on the back of the seat. And the harness will attach to a device, something similar to this. But again, make sure you read your instruction manual so you know how to do that. When you are adjusting the harnesses, you want to make sure that you take the harness, and when you're putting it through the back of the seat, and moving it to the next level up, that you go through both the fabric and the plastic at the same level. Sometimes this fabric will move around and you can go through the fabric at one level and the plastic at the other. It's important that they're both done at the same level. Typically when adjusting the harnesses, I will tell people to only take off one side off of this, what we call a splitter plate at a time. That will help prevent the strap from getting twisted or you getting it put on the seat in the wrong direction. Once you have your harness straps at the correct level, we're going to place our baby into the car seat. Now, this is a 5-point restraint, which means that we have 2 straps coming off over the shoulder. We have them coming up at the level of the hips, and we have a point here right in the crotch level where it goes into the buckle. First, we're going to put the buckle pieces in place. And you notice that the level of my shoulders is below or is above where those shoulder straps are. Now, when we get the baby in tight, I told you that in a crash, the child's going to get thrown that direction. The seat is then going to go this direction because that's the way the child's going to get thrown. We want to make sure that the baby and the seat move together as one unit. And so having these harness straps be tight is really important. The way you adjust your harness straps will vary. Sometimes it's on the front and sometimes it's on the back. Again, read your owner's manual. When you go to tighten your harness straps, I typically will tell people to start with their harness retainer clip down low, because if you place it in its proper placement and then tighten your harness straps, it's going to pull up right into the baby's neck. So start with it down low, tighten it tight, and then we can pull this up and into the proper place. Your harness retainer clip, this piece right here, needs to be at the armpit level. That puts it across this hard bone right on the chest. and then make sure that it's buckled together. When you are looking at the baby outgrowing the seat or how long you can use it, we talked about weight, but length is also a part of that. Most seats require that the head be at least 1 inch below the top of the shell. So as your baby starts to grow, their feet may fit up against the back of the seat, and they may touch that, and that's fine. We just want to make sure that our head doesn't get any closer than 1 inch to the top of the shell. As you are putting the baby in the seat, you'll sometimes notice that there are these little pads here at the shoulder, and they provide a little bit of comfort for the baby, but you never want to add pads to the seat that did not come with it. There's a lot of products that are sold on the market that are made to go in the seat, but they're not recommended to be used unless they were sold with the seat. If your car seat has an internal padding of some type, you want to check to be sure, because a lot of times they have a recommendation of when those pads need to be taken out. And so look and see what weight limit that is a recommendation for. When you are putting the baby in the seat, you want to think about the weather. And certainly we live in a climate where there's a lot of cold weather. People have a tendency to want to keep those babies warm, which is a good thing. But putting a baby in a heavy snowsuit like this is going to cause the harness straps to compress down in a crash. And so we don't want to put thick padding like this on the baby. We also don't want to put something like this in the seat, a sheepskin liner, because this is also going to compress down in a crash, and it also makes these harness straps not fit the child correctly. And so we recommend not using something like this. Instead, what we can do is there are car seat covers that are made that you can put over the top of the car seat like this, that can be used to keep the baby warm. We also recommend that you can warm up the car before you leave so that the vehicle is warm, and then bring the base of the car seat or the car seat into the house and warm that up. The other thing that you can do is, once the baby is in and the harness is tight on the child, you can simply put a blanket around the baby and swaddle them like this. If you feel like the baby needs more head support along the sides to keep their head in a midline position, again, this is something that a lot of people will purchase additionally, and we recommend not doing that because it was not made, did not come with the car seat, and is not an approved accessory for it. So instead of using an add-on device like this, we recommend using a rolled up receiving blanket and laying it along the side of the child like this. And if you'd like to double it over, or we call it candy cane it, to make it double wide up at the top, you can do that. And that will help to keep the head in nice, proper alignment. Our goal is to not have the head falling forward like this so that you block off the baby's airway. And it won't put anything under this harness, which we need to keep tight. The way that we check the tightness of that harness is that no more than one finger should fit underneath here, or we shouldn't be able to pinch that webbing. And if we can, then it's not tight enough. The last tip I would say is, remember that 4 out of 5 car seats are used incorrectly. Really make sure that you read through your instruction manual as you're going about putting your baby in the seat, and then check with a car seat technician. We're happy to help. We have a lot of checkup events around the community in the region. You can look up online to find out how you can access us, and we are there to help provide you with the support and direction that you need.